Hello students, a very good morning, a very good evening in fact to all of you. So we are here with this live today and we are going to help you to prepare for CUET exam. So as all of you know, CUET exam will be conducted in first 2 weeks of July and there is a lot of syllabus to be covered. I am sure all of you must be panicking about how to cover and prepare for CUET exam. But no worries, we are here to help you and guide you throughout the process of your preparation. So as all of you know that there will be reading comprehension section in the section 1 of CUET exam, and if we talk about English language reading comprehension, there will be basically 3 types of passages. The passages will be based or will be in the form of factual, narrative, and literary style. Now we have been getting so many queries to cover and practice proper examples or proper passages of all 3 types. So we thought of coming live with one of this, that is the factual. So in today's video I will be covering factual passages. I have an example for it. We will be solving it and trying to understand the tips and tricks how to go about solving a factual passage. The rest too I will be covering up in the next live. So stay connected if you are really interested in learning how to solve these passages, right? Okay, so first of all, what are facts? We know that facts are actual realities. Yeah, okay, so let me select the pen. So facts are reality. But you need to notice or you need to keep in mind that it's not nowhere same to truth. People often confuse between truth and facts. Truth are always fact, but facts cannot always be truth. So you have to notice that after the empirical research and the findings, one often states fact, but truth is more of belief side. It can be a hardcore reality or it can be a belief also. So the two of these shouldn't be confused, okay? And in this we will be talking about factual passages only. Moving on to our next slide. First of all, we need to see what are the factual passages. We need to understand what a factual passage is. So, a factual passage is a simple passage written in a very simple language which simply convey information in a straightforward manner. It may be information or instruction. It's about particular subject, event, incident. So you see, it can be about any topic. It can be from philosophy, it can be from science, it can be based on a scientific finding, anthropology, or anything for that matter. It presents instruction. It's often in form of instruction, report, or description of anything. I hope it is clear what a factual passage is. Let us try and understand now the types of question that you often encounter while you deal with a question on factual passages. First of all, the questions can be based on the main idea of the passage, the one prominent idea that is prevalent throughout the passage, and you will come to know of it while you just go through the passage and you will come to know of it. The questions can be based on vocabulary questions. So you often find difficult words in passages. So the examiner may ask you to find out the antonym or synonym of that word from the passage. Questions can be based on tone of the passage. So tone is the mood of the author. If the passage is a sarcastic one, is it a sympathetic one, is it a caustic one? Basically, it reflects the mood of author towards the subject, towards the topic he is talking about. Questions can be in a direct form. the answers of which you can easily find in the passage. They are very direct and in simple language. Questions can also be based on title of the passage. Basically, title is the one line that is the gist of whole of the passage. It's very rare because it's very rare to find inference question in CUET exam, because you've just come out of your 12th class, and even the examiner knows that this exam is first of its own kind. So it's hard to find such questions in passages, but for the safer side, you should know what are inference based question. So inference based question are not direct question. You have to find the hidden meaning or the hidden answers in the passage. It's basically indirect questions from the passage. So let us try to understand these points and implement them with an example that I'll show you in the next slide. So this is the passage. Let me read out this passage for you, and while we are reading the passage, try to keep those points in your mind and try to solve the passage, or at least have an idea of the passage while first reading itself, because this will save you time. Okay, so let us read the passage. Technology driven industrialization. Now you should be underlining or at least noticing the important words of the passage, because they will help you get an idea about the subject. Technology driven industrialization. So they are talking about industrialization has necessarily caused a shift in human values, certainly among those sections of society that have benefited from industrialization in India. So if I translate it in Hindi for you, the passage is saying कि technology driven industrialization जो है उसने mostly हमारी society में कुछ sections को बहुत benefit किया है, right? So such people speak and think. Which kind of people? Those who have benefited from industrialization. Such people speak and think about liberty and freedom without stopping to think whether there are others, the ones that are not benefited. There are others who cannot even dream of those desirable conditions of life, liberty and pursuits of happiness. तो पैसेज में ये बोला गया है कि ऐसे लोग जो इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन से और टेक्नोलॉजी से बेनिफिट कर रहे हैं, दे जस्ट टॉक अबाउट लिबर्टी एंड फ्रीडम. तो वो आज़ादी की बात करते हैं कि कोई रेस्ट्रिक्शंस नहीं होनी चाहिए गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से हमारी सोसाइटी में, हमारी इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन पे या टेक्नोलॉजी को ग्रो करने में, बिकॉज दे आर ऑब्वियसली बेनिफिटिंग. तो वो बात करते हैं लिबर्टी और फ्रीडम की विदाउट कंसिडरिंग द पीपल हु आर नॉट बेनिफिटिंग फ्रॉम दिस इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन. Okay, so moving on to the next line. The freedom they seek is to consume without the responsibility of leaving something for others or regenerating resources or even a thought of the resources for generations as yet born. So what the passage is saying कि ऐसे लोग जो फ्रीडम की बात करते हैं, लिबर्टी की बात करते हैं, वो लोग जो इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन से बेनिफिट कर रहे हैं, वो किस फ्रीडम की बात करते हैं? वो फ्रीडम जिसमें वो मैक्सिमम कंज्यूम कर सकें, उनकी कंजप्शन पे कोई रोक ना हो, कोई रेस्ट्रिक्शंस ना हो, एंड दे टेक नो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी फॉर अदर्स, एज इन दोज पीपल हु आर नॉट बेनिफिटिंग और हु आर नॉट एबल टू यूज दीज रिसोर्सेज, or the generations and people that are yet to come, the unborn generation. Now obviously if we exhaust our resources in the present time, there will be nothing left, no resources will be left for the coming generation, and obviously they will go into a degeneration state and a deterioration state. I hope this much of the passage is clear to you. The passage basically is talking about the strata or the section of society that is highly benefiting from technology driven industrialization, and how they aimlessly or without thinking using the resources or consuming the resources and exhausting them without leaving it for the unborn generation and the people at present, the people who are from poor strata. Let us try to understand the next paragraph of this RC. This is basically a continuation of the last one. See, after seeing me solve this passage, you will get an idea about how to do it yourself. You may practice other passages after seeing the points that I am mentioning, and even we may cover more such passages if you want me to. Okay, so let's not talk about the other passage now and start completing it. So the next passage says the juggernaut. Juggernaut is the huge overwhelming power, मतलब जो बहुत ही ज़्यादा overpowering हो, जिसका influence बहुत immense हो. The juggernaut of industrialization leaves most people with the choice of climbing aboard. मतलब, okay, so let me read the line. Let me read complete first. The juggernaut of industrialization leaves most people with the choice of climbing aboard, like the growing great Indian middle class, over the bodies of the struggling masses or staying out of the way. तो अब इस industrialization का result क्या है? There are basically the society is divided into two sections. The first section, what is it doing? They are climbing over, as in they are going with the flow. They are climbing over the struggling masses, which means they are not considering the problem of the struggling masses. वो भी इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन का एक पार्ट बनते जा रहे हैं. और दूसरे लोग कौन है? दूसरा सेक्शन ऑफ सोसाइटी है जो इससे बाहर है, who doesn't care about it. Probably the people who are uneducated or people who are living in rural area. They are not benefiting from industrialization. They are neither concerned about it. Moving on to the next line. Given the enormous momentum of, enormous is huge, momentum is motion, quantity of motion. Given the enormous momentum of industrialization, the very existence of those who cannot do either, जो ना तो साथ इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन में इंक्लूड हो सकते हैं और ना ही उससे बाहर रह सकते हैं, वो वाला सेक्शन, द थर्ड सेक्शन ऑफ सोसाइटी, which is not included in the beneficiary, which is not included, which are not getting benefit from industrialization, and the people who are staying out of the process of industrialization, there is a third section. अब वो third section के साथ क्या है कि their existence has been threatened because of industrialization. Given the enormous momentum of industrialization, the very existence of those who cannot do either is threatening our farming or tribal communities or Dalits who have been oppressed for centuries and are even today oppressed. तो वो थर्ड सेक्शन मोस्टली किसे इंक्लूड करता है? फार्मिंग और ट्राइबल कम्युनिटीज़ को, मोस्टली दलित्स को. सो देयर एग्जिस्टेंस हैज़ बीन ऑप्रेस्ड एंड it's almost gone to, they are completely marginalized, and this growing industrialization is further marginalizing them. Reacting to the economic violence of industrialization, some take up the weapons to fight extreme self-assertion, while some choose to suicide. So there are two types of people in Indian society at present who are facing the problems of economic industrialization, the technology that technology has caused. They have either taken up the weapons, those who are aware of their rights, those who know how to speak against the wrong have taken up the weapons, and the other kind of people who find themselves helpless have opted for suicide, that is extreme self-abnegation. But for the vast silent majority, this is a sentence to suffer the filth and degradation of urban slums, their final earthly destination. तो यहाँ पर एक थर्ड स्ट्राटा की बात हुई है. But for the vast silent majority, वो थर्ड स्ट्राटा जो है, it's neither taking up the weapons, it's neither opting for nor opting for suicide. They are simply suffering. They are living in filth, मतलब वो गंदगी में और डेग्रेडेशन में रह रहे हैं अर्बन स्लम्स में, और उनके लिए यही अर्थली डेस्टिनेशन कह लो या हेल कह लो. दे आर सफरिंग इन द फिल्दी सिचुएशन एज दे आर लिविंग इन अर्बन स्लम्स. So I hope you've got a fair idea about the passage. The passage is talking about the bad effects of industrialization and how it has marginalized certain people or certain section of society to the bare minimum, and how it has benefited some privileged class who is not considering about the other sections of the society. So let us try to take up the question and solve them now. The first question is, all of the following statements are true except. अब इसमें हमें कुछ इस तरह के क्वेश्चन में कुछ स्टेटमेंट दी होती हैं हमें, जिनमें से एक्सेप्ट एक स्टेटमेंट हमें बतानी है. ऑल ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स आर ट्रू एक्सेप्ट एक स्टेटमेंट जो ट्रू नहीं है. द रेस्ट ऑफ द स्टेटमेंट्स आर ट्रू. So first statement is, technology driven industrialization has created a dichotomy in the Indian society. एक divide तो we agree with this line, right? कि इस industrialization ने और technology ने एक divide ला दिया है हमारी society में, एक dichotomy आ गया, as in दो section distribute हो गए. So this statement is right. हमने पढ़ा था passage में. The second point is, the beneficiaries of industrialization are essentially consumerist. ये भी बात ठीक है कि जिन्हें बेनिफिट हो रहा है इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन से, दे आर कंज्यूमर्स, राइट? दे आर कंज्यूमिंग एंड नॉट प्रोड्यूसिंग एनीथिंग. सो दिस लाइन इज ऑल्सो ट्रू. फार्मिंग एंड ट्राइबल कम्युनिटीज एंड दलित फाइंड देयर एग्जिस्टेंस थ्रेटन्ड. येस, वी ऑल अग्री विद दिस. ये भी मेंशन किया गया था पैसेज में कि वो सेक्शन जिसे बहुत ज़्यादा ड्रॉबैक्स देखने पड़ रहे हैं इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन के, वो कौन सा सेक्शन है? इट इंक्लूड्स फार्मर्स एंड ट्राइबल कम्युनिटीज, as in Dalits. The next point is, our next point is, the rate of armed conflict, extreme self-assertion and suicide, extreme self-abnegation has substantially increased in India. Yes, we did talk about two sections of society, the one that has raised arms against industrialization and the other that have opted for suicide. But nowhere in the passage was it mentioned that such people have increased. हाँ, mention किया था passage में कि ऐसे, हाँ, कि ऐसी दो section बन गई हैं हमारी society में, कुछ लोग जो armed conflict को opt कर रहे हैं और कुछ जो suicide opt कर रहे हैं, but वो increase हो रहा है, ये चीज़ कहीं mention नहीं की थी. So we are doubtful about this statement. Let's read the last one. Only some people have the option of climbing aboard the juggernaut of industrialization. Yes, we agree with this line also, that not everyone can climb aboard the juggernaut of industrialization. Not everyone is that privileged to opt for this. So this is also a true line. So this makes clear that this line is the exception. This line is quite against our, I won't say against, it's not stated in our passage. So this is the answer. Option number D. Let us look at another question from this passage. The question is, the passage highlights, now this is also more or less same question. The passage highlights the dangers of industrialization without a human face. Yes, we all agree with it, don't we? कि इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन के जो डेंजर्स हैं वो ह्यूमन फेस के लिए एक डेंजर बन चुका है इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन. द सेकेंड पॉइंट इज द डिक्लाइनिंग वैल्यूज ऑफ कंज्यूमर्स इन आवर सोसाइटी. येस, वी हैव द पैसेज ऑल्सो टॉक्स अबाउट कि कैसे कंज्यूमर्स की जो वैल्यूज हैं दे आर डिक्लाइनिंग, दे आर नॉट कंसिडरिंग अदर पीपल. द थर्ड लाइन इज द फेलियर ऑफ द सिस्टम टू प्रिवेंट सुसाइड्स. See, more or less every line will reflect some thought from the passage, but what we have to see is the only prominent idea which is prevalent in whole passage. आपको लगेगा कि हाँ सारे ऑप्शन ठीक हैं, एग्जामिनर बहुत ही कन्विंसिंग से ऑप्शन सेट करेगा, लेकिन हमें देखना है कि पूरे पैसेज में कौन सा एक मेन आइडिया है जो रिफ्लेक्ट हो रहा है. द फेलियर ऑफ द सिस्टम टू प्रिवेंट सुसाइड्स. Yes, this has also been mentioned in the passage. The need to protect the rights of tribals and Dalits. The plight of the marginalized sections of society. You see now, every line has a relevance in the passage. We have talked, the author has talked about all of these points. But what is the one main prevalent idea? It is the dangers of industrialization. And these are more or less support, so you would say support examples or supporting statements to dangers of industrialization. So this is the prevalent idea in the passage. So this is our answer. You see, it wasn't that hard. And the more you practice, you will become more expert in it. Rest we are here to help you and to guide you. Okay, so if you found this video helpful, do share and subscribe it with your friends, because we want to reach out to maximum students so that all of you get a fair chance to enter into your favorite university and ace this CUET exam. If you like the video, do like it and stay tuned for for the upcoming lives, because we will be taking up more passages and be solving them just like we did this. Okay, so thank you, stay healthy and keep preparing for your exam.